I am Jasmine B. Lusanoy from BSED Social Studies 2. For subject Ed 2 of our Foundation of Social Inclusive Education, I will be reporting on psychological and socio-cultural theories, focusing on the ideas of Lev Vygotsky and Jane Lev. In this report, I will discuss Vygotsky's socio-cultural theory, particularly the zone of proximal development and scaffolding, and Jane Leav's situated learning theory, which explain how learning happens in real-life situations and communities of practice. These are the learning objectives. Students will understand the concept of ZPD, scaffolding, and situated learning. Students will demonstrate learning through guidance and active participation in real life or group activities. Students will value collaboration and learning through interaction with others. Learning is a social process that develops through interaction, culture, and meaningful experiences. Learning happens best when we interact with other and people and take part in real life experiences. Both Vygotsky and Lee believe that we understand and gain knowledge by working with others, not by studying alone. First, we will discuss Vygotsky's social-cultural theory. Lev Vygotsky was a Russian psychologist best known for his social-cultural theory of learning, which emphasized that learning is deeply rooted in social interaction and culture, unlike theories that focus only on individual thinking. Vygotsky believed that children develop knowledge through communication, collaboration, and shared activities with others. So, one of his most important contributions is the zone of proximal development or the ZPD. The ZPD refers to the gap between what a learner can do independently and what they can do with guidance from a more knowledgeable person, such as teacher, parent, or skilled person. Vygotsky believed that real learners happen in this zone because support helps learner reach higher levels of understanding. Another key concept is scaffolding, which refers to the temporary support given to the learners while they are mastering a new skill. This support may include asking guiding questions, giving examples, modeling tasks, or offering hints. As learners become more confident and capable, the support is gradually removed, allowing them to work independently. Now, let's move to Jane Leav's situated learning theory and discover how learning happens in real life situations. Jane Leave is a social anthropologist and professor emerita in the Department of Geography. She is well known for her work with Ethan Wenger, especially their book Situated Learning, Legitimate Peripheral Participation. So, what is situated learning? Situated learning is an instructional approach developed in late 1980s and early 1990s. This theory explained that learning happens best when it takes place in real life situations. It is influenced by the ideas of Dewey and Vygotsky, who believe that students learn best through active participation. Situated learning theory shows that learning is not just about memorizing facts from books or listening to teachers. It happens naturally when people are actively involved in real life activities. For example, students can learn how to solve problems by actually working on a project with classmates. Situated learning theory shows that learning is not just about memorizing facts from books or listening to teachers. It happens naturally when people are actively involved in real life activities. For example, students can learn how to solve problems by actually working on a project with classmates, instead of only reading about it. Learning is most effective when it is connected to real situations, cultures, and community, because learners can see how knowledge is used in practice. So the theory also emphasizes social interaction. Beginners start by observing or helping others and gradually take on more responsibility as they become more skilled. Now, let's move to the key feature of situated learning. First, it is based on socio-cultural theory. Situated learning theory follows a socio-cultural view of learning, which means that learning happens through interaction with other people and the community. So, knowledge is not something that we just learn alone. It is shaped, shared, and agreed upon by people in a group. When learners talk, watch, and work with others, they understand better and can use knowledge in meaningful ways. So, the second is learning should take place in communities of practice. Since knowledge is created and shared by people, the best way to learn is to learn from others. Communities of practice are groups of people who share the same skills, work, or professions. According to Liv and Winger 1991, learners gain knowledge by talking, listening, and actively participating in these groups. Being part of a community helps learners understand what is important and how members of the group think, act, and solve problems. Learning becomes meaningful because it is connected to real life experiences and shared practices rather than the only learning from books or lectures. The third is legitimate peripheral participants. According to Liv and Winger, learning often happens through apprenticeship model, where learners start at the age of the community. At first, learners are called legitimate peripheral participants. This means they are beginners who observe experts, follow practitioners, and perform simple tasks. Through guided practice and cognitive apprenticeship, learners slowly understand how tasks are done. They learn by watching, listening, asking questions, and practicing in real life situations. At this stage, learners are not yet full members of the community, but they are gaining experience and building skills by participating in small ways. The fourth is learners slowly become full members of the community of practice. As learners gain knowledge, skills, and confidence, they take on more responsibility and become more active in the group. Each community has its own rules or methods for helping learners move from beginners to full members. So, in formal setting, progress might depend on exams, the number of hours spent practicing, or age. Over time, learners become independent, skills, and active members of the community. They can perform tasks confidently and even guide or help new learners, completing the learner cycle. For example, a students who learn through observation and guided practice can eventually become a teacher or mentor to others, sharing their knowledge and helping them develop skills. Now, let's move to the difference between traditional learning and situated learning. So, traditional learning is a common teaching method used in schools where instruction is teacher centered. Knowledge is usually delivered through lectures and textbooks, and students often learn concepts in an abstract way, separate from real life experiences. While the situated learning focuses on learning in authentic real world situations, learners actively participate in meaningful activities rather than passively receiving information. So, this approach highlights hands on experience, collaboration, and social interaction, making learning more engaging and easier to remember. Vygotsky's sociocultural theory and Jane Lee's situated learning theory both emphasize that learning is a social and shaped by interaction and culture. Learning happens when people learn with others. With help and real life practice, learners understand better and become independent. That's all. Thank you.